welcome to tonight's episode of Beyond Focus TV. I'm your host, Lydia Patel, and as always, I have a very special guest for you, Judith Jacques, who's actually the founder of Black Women in Media, will be with us for the next 30 minutes, so don't go anywhere. Stay with us. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Beyond Focus TV allows you to discuss contemporary topics affecting the Caribbean people on both a national and local level. The show features informed guests who offer insight, debate, and evaluate various issues. Beyond Focus TV builds on the station's mission to provide useful information to the Caribbean people in New York and abroad. Beyond Focus TV, where our viewing audience can get educated, informed, and empowered. Welcome back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel, sitting here with Judith Jacques, founder of Black Women in Media. Judith, welcome to Beyond Focus.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, it's great to have you here, and it's not every day that we have a founder of a Black-owned women media company. Basically, yes. That's what it is. It's a whole enterprise. And Judith is going to give us details about all the different parts and the moving parts of how she does this all. But tell us a little bit about how this all got started and about your journey getting here.
Okay. I'm going to try to keep it short and simple. Pretty much, I grew up in a small Black community. I was always interested in helping out and so on. So even from high school and even before that, I was always engaged in my community. And after high school, I went, after high school, during high school, I got pregnant. So I lost many opportunities due to my pregnancy. And that I was relentless. I said, I'm not going to become a statistic, a young mother, and so on. So I went on to, college and what have you at St. John's University. Yay!
Yeah, go St. John's.
And my parents wanted me to. They was like, "Wow, she's going to school!" So yay! Everybody was happy. And then it's either medical or a law field. That's the only industries which our parents and what my parents wanted me to be in. However, that's not where my happiness was. I turned it into PR marketing and so on. And during my journey in school, I found out I had cancer.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I had cancer and I started getting really sick. So, the school representatives, they called me and they told me, you're not fit to be in school in your state. So I pretty much was booted out. But I was, like I told you, aggressive. I always wanted to do something. I didn't want to stay. Like I said, I had something to prove at that time. Didn't know what it was, but I had something to prove.
You knew you had something.
Yes. And like I mentioned before too, I still wanted to cater to my community. So I started paying attention and I started realizing there's not much being done in the Black community. There's a statistic in a Black community, much like there was a statistic for me. And I felt like the media portrayed the Black community in a negative light. In those times when the media would portray, Black individuals in a good light, and I say those with quotations, is like, we said previously, it's the token Black, the few Black. Black people are minorities on every aspect of the media.
Except for when we're in a music video or in a rap video.
Or when it has something to do with police brutality, or when it has something to do with, how can one person's mistake then represent the entire Black community? Whereas when a white serial killer happens to destroy thousands of people's lives.
He had depression.
Right. He was a great student and it was his circumstance or situation. So I decided to create an outlet, Black Street, which is the umbrella company to, like you mentioned, my enterprise, which I'm very proud of. And we created Black Street to cater to the Black community by highlighting individuals in every industry. So we wanted to be the IT outlet, which catered to showcasing DJs, teachers, nurses, doctors, celebrities, whoever it is, as long as you're doing something positive. We wanted to cater to, it could even be children, like kids, because we have kid billionaires now, especially due to the possibility of social media allowing people to become business owners at an exceeding rate. So that's pretty much how I got started. So,
and that's great. Really interesting story, and
Right.
you packed in a lot of information there.
Yeah.
While you were sick.
Yeah.
So now you're sick. You're a young mother. You're
Yes.
trying to deal with school.
Yes.
how did you still manage to keep everything together and decide to build on your vision that you had?
Right. I mean, I have a great support system. I have a great support system, and prayer. Honestly, it was through prayer. I started. My father's a pastor, so it was easy for me to understand where to go when times were hard. You understand? So it was easy for me to start praying and relying on my faith to help me get through it. And to be honest, the work kind of took my mind out of it as well. So even before, I mean, Blackstreet wasn't during cancer. Blackstreet kind of came after. But by that time, I had an event planning firm and PR and marketing, and I was still, building and trying to grow my brand and working. So it wasn't easy being a young mother and, like you said, being an entrepreneur and still trying to cater to my community. So it was through prayer. Prayer really helped.
And you mentioned that your father was a pastor.
Yeah, he's a pastor.
And in media, a lot of times they
Right.
call them PKs, preachers' kids.
Right, preachers' kids.
And there's the media shows them as girls who are suppressed, and then they break out,
Right.
and then you get pregnant at a young age.
Yeah.
So now you're falling into that almost
Right.
in a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
How did your family react to all of that? Did they still want you to just continue on the school path and build?
Well, they didn't know how to react because they weren't prepared for it. I don't think any parent is prepared for, like, you know what, I know my kid's going to be a teenage mother. I don't think they prepared themselves for it. However, it hit them hard because, they, even at a young age, they saw promise in me. So being a teen mother wasn't what they expected. So when it happened, they were set back. But when they saw me get up and go to school,
Yes.
and continue to build my business because I was interested in event planning and so on, that's when they realized, you know what, she's still that person. She made a mistake, she's still that person. So there was support. There was great support.
Absolutely, which is amazing. Sometimes it's one of the main things that we all need.
Yeah.
In terms of being a Black woman in media,
Yeah.
what are some of the challenges that you could see from when you started your career 10
Right.
plus years ago
Yeah.
to now that still haven't really improved?
Right. I mean, like we mentioned before, there's this stigma and this stereotype of what a Black woman should be on TV. She should be that woman with an attitude, or she should be the loud woman, or too strong, or too opinionated, or everything is too much of something. It's too powerful of something. Like you saw Serena Williams they labeled her as being too manly. However, Caitlyn Jenner, Bruce Jenner,
The
is
epitome of femininity.
yeah, and he's just beautiful, and I will identify him as a man because that's how I can identify him, and it's just embraced when it's other cultures, but when it's Black women, it's just. I personally feel it was just too much to handle.
Absolutely.
Right.
And it really is a lot. And we're going to take a quick break and come back.
Okay.
And I want to go into
Right,
that
Black
topic.
women in media, right.
And really some key Black women. You brought up Serena Williams, who's one
Right.
of the people I want to talk about.
Right.
But everybody stay with us. I've got Judith Jacques right here from Black Women in Media. Stay with us.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Miles, and I am Miss Caribbean United States 2013, and you're watching Beyond Focus TV.
Welcome back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV, sitting here with Judith Jacques. Judith, we were talking about right before the break, Black women in media, who we see.
Right.
You mentioned Serena Williams. Right now, some of the top Black women that we get to see.
Right.
Serena is in forefront.
She happens to be the forefront. Yes.
Taraji Henson
Yes.
from
Because she
Empire.
is Empire, right?
So, that's who we have to identify with.
Right.
You have Serena Williams on one end to identify
Right.
with. You got Nene, Love and Hip Hop, or
Yeah.
Housewives of
Right.
Atlanta.
Right. So
I
about
can't
these reality
really
shows.
say
Yes. That were
that
portrayed in the
sits
best light.
well on either
Absolutely
side.
not.
As much as I love Cookie's role,
Yeah.
and I do love Empire, I do like it.
Yes. It can be
But you
an
have to
infectious show.
separate what reality is.
Right.
You know, she was building with her man, and
Yes.
they came up from the streets, and they had a hard time. Yes, and you will see couples in the hood trying to emulate that.
Exactly. And I do have an issue with it. Most women on TV who are powerful, I feel like there is
Olivia Pope.
Yes, Olivia Pope, even Viola Davis, who plays in How to Get Away with Murder, and both shows by Shonda Rhimes, who I admire as a great writer and director and so on, and a creator of these shows. However, the Viola Davis, for example, and she's married to a white man who happens to be a cheater and so on, and who she helps kill. Olivia Pope is sleeping with the president. She's his mistress, and so on, and she's in unstable relationships. You have these reality shows, which I have an issue with, because predominantly most of them, unless it's on OWN, most of them, I'm okay with healthy arguments. It's okay for me to not agree with you all the time. It's fine. It doesn't mean we're fighting. It just means that you have an opinion, I have an opinion.
Exactly.
We can find a way to respect each other's opinions and still let each other know this is where I'm coming from. But I feel like if it's not a fight or if it's not a blow, and they show these women like Love and Hip Hop, as you mentioned, I feel like we have a responsibility at how we're portrayed ourselves. These women, if I find an opportunity to go onto a reality show, a talk show, I have responsibility, because it so happens that in the black race, we represent our entire race. It's not fair, but that's how it is.
How it is.
So if the only way that I get, airtime or my storyline is picked up is if I pick a fight with another woman, then it's not going to happen.
Exactly.
And that's the responsibility that we need to have. However, on the other side too, these producers and the individuals who are in charge of picking, people for these shows, they are strategically choosing people who are confrontational. And there's a reason behind it. So the next time someone from another race sees me, they automatically assume that I'm just like this woman, because this is the only way that black women are portrayed. And if black women are successful and powerful on TV, she's married to a white man, or she's with a white man. She can't be with a black man.
Or you were raised white, or you from Long Island.
Yes. Right. It's, you had a different education background and a different experience. That is not true at all. Black women are powerful. We are strong. We are intelligent, extremely intelligent. We are very resourceful. We do not rely on anyone. And I felt like that's why Black Women in Media was created, to showcase that power. And I'm sorry.
No, but I was going to say, but sadly, a lot of times,
right,
there are women who dying to get on these programs,
right,
who don't care if they come off as ghetto, if they come off as loud,
right,
if they talk about their baby daddies, their weave,
right,
getting turned up,
right, or saying that their children's my daughter is a cat or something, like something ridiculous. And it's frustrating, and I'm sorry if I come off a little bit too passionate, but the reason why is because it's infuriating to see how women are portrayed, black women are portrayed, and it's so far off. I feel like I have a responsibility every single time I speak to someone of another race to represent my race in the best way possible. Why? Because she or he automatically assumes that I'm Cookie, or I might be, just some other. And these are all characters, regardless if it's reality TV. It's a character. It's not real life. It's not true. These people do not act like this on a daily basis.
Even if you're on CNN, the media people that we see, the anchors, there's a character. You watch The View, everybody has a character. Libby has a character.
Right. She's the opinionated one who
has the role.
Right. Everyone has a role. And I felt like Black Women Media, it caters to not just how black women